Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Hello, we are here. Miguel and Holly Uncensored. Make sure to listen to our other podcasts that we have. Miguel and Holly Full Show. You can find that anywhere you listen to podcasts. Just type in Miguel and Holly Full Show, or you can listen to Blown Off, The Check-In, Queen City Confessions, anywhere you listen to podcasts. But we just ask that you please give us a review, a 5-star review, and a great rating. We appreciate it. You can also go to the Miguel and Holly Fam / Platypus Posse Facebook group that we talk about different stuff from the show or from the podcast. And so checking in so far on our YouTube and Facebook where we're streaming live, Francisco, Amy Gordon. We do have 2 cool interviews that we're going to do here today. We have someone that we used to work with who now lives in LA and is doing some really awesome things and got to be a part of this really cool project that we're going to talk to. And also this weekend, I got to interview Young Gravy.
How cool is that?
So awesome. So we're going to have that interview at the end of this podcast. And Holly, we haven't got a chance to talk about it. Like, there were some parts of it that like had me rolling on the floor.
Oh my God.
I asked him about some of the strangest DMs he's received.
Yes. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
My God. Like, it was hilarious.
Good.
Holly, how was your weekend?
It was busy. It was good. We had my daughter, my person's daughter, and it's just the older they get, it's like they're raised differently. So like they've been like, you know, we like they're like sisters because they were only children. And so they're kind of like sisters, and they have been for a while. But it's just when they get together on these weekends, it's so different because, you know, his daughter is primarily with her mother and my daughter is primarily with us. And my partner and I are very much on the same parenting page, which is so nice. Obviously, you know, when she's at her dad's house, she gets parented differently over there. So you have all these like, you know, split parent conglomeration of families, and that can be tricky navigating that. So it was a little bit like, you know, just rough this time around because sometimes it's just hard when you got personalities and how people are being raised that are sort of in conflict with each other, and you're trying to be the mediator. So I feel a little emotionally spent just from the weekend, but it was a good weekend. It was really good. And I think overall just happy times with family, which was really nice. But that's also why I didn't get to do Young Gravy's concert. But it was good.
I remember like growing up, my mom, when we moved to Denver and she was dating this guy, and like how my mom raised me and how his kids were raised were different. And so like my mom was very much like, if you did something bad, you're disciplined and then we move on. Where his was like a little more like the whole world was about to like split open. And so like there were some times where his kids would get in trouble and I would get in trouble and he would try to punish me. And my mom would be like, no. No, like, because I didn't get like a lot of whippings because like my mom was scary enough, and so like she would just have to be like, sit the fuck down, and I'm like, sorry. Whereas his kids would be like, what
Oh my God, I could never. I could never.
No. So my mom was like, I'm gonna whip these damn kids, girl, and I was like, I'm so afraid. I'm so mean to say anything.
Yeah. I was just having an issue because it's like, because she's being raised so differently in regards to school and also after school activities. We've noticed over the last probably month or so that she likes to go out and like in the driveway and play soccer. Like not real soccer, but like what you see in movies and what she assumes soccer might be like. And so, you know, we were asking her, we're like, have you ever thought about trying out and be like, because she's just turned 8. So we're like, do you want to maybe play soccer? And she goes, no, definitely not. And we're like, okay, but it seems like you like doing it at home here. Maybe you'd like to do that would be something fun to do. And she's like, no, definitely not. I don't like competition. I don't like it. And I'm like, And so I was like, well, and then you're trying to like argue with an 8-year-old and you're like, okay, well, all parts of life have a little competition. Like sometimes you're winning at life and sometimes you're losing at life, and you have to learn how to do both.
Mhm.
And that can help teach you. I said, also, as I'm quiet for a minute, I was like, also in soccer, you're on a team. And I know you don't know what that means, but like your teammates are like, your close friends, and you're all going out there and doing it together. It's not like, she's like, no, I don't like competition. And I was like, so then I was like really just stressed out, and I'm like, how do you even but it's not my place. So I'm like,
right. You're like, oh, right.
Okay. So that's just like just one of the multiple times of like, oh, this is different.
Right.
So it's trying to navigate those waters, if you will.
Kelvin, how was your weekend?
It was fun. I really had to push myself going out Saturday because I was going by myself. My fiance went to go celebrate his close friend's birthday for a dinner. And so Miguel invites me to go out with his friends. And of course, I'm comfortable to go hang out with Miguel, but I know that Miguel does not go out.
When you go out with Miguel, you don't go out with Miguel.
Just Miguel, correct.
You are rolling in a crowd of Miguel's closest
8, 9,
30 people.
20. Yes.
Yeah.
So he
You better
invites
make
me
friends.
to this pre-party. And I'm like, oh God, like, what is it? What kind of pre-party is it? Is it raging, or is it just like 5 people around the kitchen island? Like, I don't know. Either way, it's going to be awkward and uncomfortable. So I put my big boy panties on. I got dressed. I went out. I was ready. I was feeling myself. I get there, and it's this beautiful home. And it was with the Twinks of Charlotte. Like, it was just...
Oh,
It was
Miguel,
just,
I didn't know you were involved with the Twinks of
it
Charlotte.
was a lot, but it wasn't like bad energy. I didn't feel uncomfortable. They wwere very nice. I got immediately complimented on my shirt once I came in. I met Miguel's friends, which were very friendly. And yeah, it was a really fun night out.
Okay, so what is that? You can't be like very friendly.
What was that pause?
I know.
And then, what the fuck are you saying without saying it? Do you think that we were born yesterday?
They're
Like,
very friendly.
No, they were
coming
just
in
nice.
trying to give tones of voice and me not reading it. Like, what?
Very
No.
friendly.
They were just very friendly. I won't name drop, but one of them was just very sweet throughout the whole night, being very complimentary. And
Mhm.
at the club, we exchanged compliments to each other, and that was it. And then my partner came. My partner was there, BT Dubs. So people understand this. My partner was there too, and we were just all complimenting each other. It was very nice, very sweet. Got my dance on. And I loved it.
Good.
As Miguel once again was watching this whole time.
I feel like Miguel has opera glasses and just keeps an eye on all of his people,
I
but he
know.
don't want to like mingle with you. He just wants to.
Actually, it's so funny. One of my new Charlotte friends, we've like, it's so interesting how like you forget sort of like the phases of friends and how it works. How like you do the initial like through someone you meet, and then like you see each other out, for a week's when you go out and you're like, oh hey, and it's how was your week? Oh, it was good. And then like something happens where you have that moment where you're like, oh wow, we're friends. Like it's not just we're out and about, but we're actually like talking to each other throughout the week and checking in with each other. And so one of these friends that him and I have become a little bit closer over the past few weeks. He looked at me at this pre-party and he was like, are you the mom? And I was like, what do you mean? As I put my glasses down my nose and I'm just like, what do you mean? Am I the mom? And he's like, you take care of everyone, don't you? And I was like, I mean, yeah, yes, absolutely.
You do.
I am
That
I
you
am
do.
the mom. Yeah.
But also you like to hover and go from group to group like a hen. So yes,
Right.
You are and you do, and you play a very specific role in the group.
Yeah, because this friend has been going through like some relationship stuff, and I'm not prying, but just checking in on them to be like, hey, are you okay? And like Abe and I had invited him out to a movie a few weeks ago when they were going through some emotional stuff just to get their mind off of things. And he was just like, you the mom? And I'm like, Yes, I have literally had this role in every gay group I've had.
Mhm.
I always just like to make sure everyone's okay, everyone's having a good time, everyone is introduced to each other, but then I'm also having to be cognizant and check myself because meeting these new Charlotte gays and there's so many of them and there's new ones that I'm meeting all the time and
Mhm.
just knowing my place that I'm still the new person here. And
Yeah, you can't mom over all these people that don't really know you that well.
no, but I
Who?
just make sure everyone's okay, like the ones that I know and like getting to know new people. But everyone has been super, super nice and friendly.
Mhm.
It just takes time. And I think one of the biggest lessons that I have had to remind myself, Abe, Kelvin, and another friend that's moved here recently is that it really takes time. Because as an adult, it's like you see people once a week when you go out and then you don't see them again for a minute and it's like you'll have this one moment where you're like, okay, now we're friends,
Yeah.
but you just
Mhm.
gotta wait for it and you can't manufacture it. It just has to like come naturally. But everybody's so impatient, they're like, I just want it to happen now.
But you can't. Like, it's the same thing as like rushing through a relationship, like the first stages. It
Right.
it does take time.
It's like dating, literally.
Yeah.
New friends, it's like dating.
Yeah.
So let's start the next part of the podcast. Let me set up the introduction here. So this guy right here, if you're watching this on YouTube, his name is Adam the Flop, and Holly and I used to work with him when we were in Tampa. He was one of our promotions kids. And I remember my first event I had with him, he was talking about his TikTok because I'm always like curious, what the kids these days are doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah, I have this like music TikTok that has, some followers. And I'm like, oh. And at the time, I don't think he was where he is now, but now he has 1.2 million followers on TikTok.
Good Lord.
123,000 on Instagram and 262,000 on YouTube. And he gives you basically facts about music. Like here's a little sample of one that he just posted recently.
Should have been the biggest hit in their discography, but kind of flopped. Doja Cat edition. So Doja's biggest hit is this song, which is currently her only #1 hit.
Why don't you say so?
And even though I'm glad that Say So gave Doja her first #1, let's be honest, she has a lot of other songs that deserve this spot. It's kind of crazy how even though all the singles from her album Planet Her were super big hits, none of them hit #1. The song I'm choosing though is a song that's actually not even on any of her albums. When the song came out, it went pretty viral on TikTok and people loved it, but its chart position didn't really reflect that. Doja's verses on it are bold and confident, and the beat is so good, it's really unlike any other Doja Cat song. Before I reveal it, make sure to follow me to see more of this series and request any artist that you want to see next.
You got to go to his TikTok to get the rest of it. It's
It's probably Boss Bitch. Anyways.
So please welcome to the Uncensored podcast, Adam the Flop.
Hello. It is so nice to see you guys.
You too. So first off, before we get to everything, you are no longer in Tampa. You're living in LA now, Adam?
Yes, I'm in Los Angeles now. I moved here back in August.
Look at
Wow.
you. So when
Yeah.
you were doing promotions for us, you were there for your master's, or what were you there for?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Chicago, and then back in August of 2021, I moved to Tampa to pursue my master's degree, and then I completed that in August of this year. So right when I finished that, I moved out here to LA.
And so what have you moved out there to do? Be famous?
That's the goal. I mean,
Yes.
who doesn't
Period.
have that goal when moving
Yes.
to LA?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I love making content about the music industry, and I knew moving out here, it would just further my goals of wanting to do more hosting and interviewing artists on red carpets. And I knew that I would have more opportunities creating videos with artists here too. So that was my really reason for moving out here.
I mean, it's the logical choice. Do you
Yeah.
have connections there, or did you just go in blind and are just working from the bottom? Now you're here.
Yeah, not too many actually. I didn't know many people out here
Mhm.
when I first moved out here. Luckily, my manager and my whole management company's out here. So they've been a great help kind of getting me situated. And I've been filming a lot of stuff in their studio too, which is really nice.
Nice.
Management company.
When did you get
Wow.
management?
That was back, I was still living in Tampa at the time. It was, I think, in May. And so all my communication with them was over the phone. And I didn't really get to meet them until I actually came here to LA.
Got it.
Wow. And
Did they reach out to you? I'm sorry, I just have a question.
No, go ahead.
Did they reach out to you or did you reach out to them first?
So they reached out via email, and then I had not an interview, more so like an introduction call with them, and
Got it.
then talked to a few different companies, but then realized that they were the ones that like really understood my goal and vision with my content.
Got it.
Nice.
And so what is your eventual goal outside of just, being famous? Like, do you want to be on E? Do you want to create your own thing? What is it like? What's your eventual goal?
Yeah, I think anything that has to do with hosting or interviewing artists would be great. I mean, I love Billboard. A lot of my content on TikTok and YouTube is based off of the Billboard charts. So ideally, I think it'd be really cool one day to have my own show with Billboard where I can just talk about charts, or just any sort of show where I could display my knowledge of music or just learn more about artists themselves.
Have you met Tetris Kelly that works for Billboard?
I have, yes. So Tetris and I met back at the Billboard Music Awards this past May, because he was there with Billboard and then I was there with TikTok.
Tell that bitch I said, hey, we went to college together. And we were in the same broadcasting classes.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great. He's so good at what he does.
Yes, he is. I was actually a little bit jealous when I first saw he got his job with Billboard, because we've always followed each other. We worked at the college radio station together. And so seeing his progression, because I think he wanted to be in music, and then he switched over to this side of things on the hosting side. And so his stuff will pop up on my Instagram every now and then. I'm always just like, that's my baby. You get her, girl. I remember you in college. You used to perform at the talent shows and stuff and whatnot. So it's really cool to see that.
Yeah, he's great.
How many different award shows have you been able to go to so far, Adam?
So far, only the Billboard Music Awards in May and the Latin Billboard Music Awards back in 2021.
What were those experiences like?
It was really cool. And at the Billboards in May, I was able to walk the red carpet and be part of the TikTok and Billboard live stream where they announced all the pre-show award. The people who got the awards but they weren't televised. So it was really cool to be part of that experience. I think, Billboard has always been a company that I've looked up to ever since I was young. I've been watching the Billboard charts every single week. I look up the Hot 100 and the Billboard 200 albums chart. And so that was really cool to meet Tetris and to meet Tiffany Taylor, who's another host who was there. They were both great. And the whole Billboard team was so nice. So
is it what you thought it was going to be, or did it totally exceed your expectations?
It definitely was not all what I expected it to be, because I was so nervous going into it. I was like, this is going to be so scary. I'm going to see so many celebrities on the red carpet. I'm not going to know what to say to them. But it ended up just being a quick segment before the award show began. I didn't really get to see any celebrities on the red carpet, which was fine with me because I was super nervous beforehand and I don't know how I would have reacted. But yeah, I think it was just a great experience.
Is there a difference now in what you're putting out on your TikTok now than prior to moving there? How has it changed?
Definitely. Yeah. I think that before moving here, I wasn't really sure about how I wanted my long-term career to look. Whereas when I moved here, I realized I want to do more long-form content as well. So with my management company, we recently launched a YouTube show on my YouTube channel, which is just kind of like my TikTok content and short form videos, but more long form videos. And I get to add a little bit more commentary to that, which I'm super excited about because I think that's a perfect way to kind of segue into this journey that I have with my content.
A lot of your content is derived from facts. So what I'm curious about, do you have to deal with a lot of chaotic fandoms when you post
yes.
things? You handle that?
Yes, definitely. It's something that I've learned to just kind of ignore if I see it. because people really they're passionate about their favorite artist, you know,
Mhm.
and they're a stan, if you will. So
That's a really nice way to put it. They're just very
Yeah.
passionate.
they're very passionate, and sometimes it's funny because they will take things to Twitter as well. So I'll go on Twitter sometimes and just see people stands on Twitter like reposting my videos, and it's such an interesting thing because I get to see all the not the feedback of the video, but more so the opinions of the fans um, about whatever topic I'm talking about. So
Mhm.
sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I've just learned to sort of not really pay too much attention to it, but definitely it's entertaining. Not gonna lie. So yeah.
When you have 1.2 million followers on TikTok, do you ever feel pressure now that you know you have so many eyeballs looking at what you're posting, and like how it could be received by some of these fandoms?
Definitely, yeah. I think ever since moving here, I've realized that too, just because I've been meeting so many people in the music industry who have seen my content. So I'm definitely more conscious of that now. I'm like, okay, I know that people are seeing my content. I definitely have to just not, I think I just have to like think beforehand about what I want to say on my TikTok and what I want to say about an artist for sure.
Wow, that's so fascinating how much things have changed about how, social media, I mean, as much as we talk about the negative side of things, how it could like take this interest and passion that you had that probably, everyone was like, why are you studying all these billboard stuff? And you've been able to take it and launch it into the beginning of what's going to be hopefully a very long, lucrative, and successful career. And that is
Mhm.
just so awesome to see.
Thank
So let's
you.
talk
Thank you very
about
much.
oh, absolutely. I'm gonna play a little bit of this. Your experience of why we wanted to chat with you today. You went to how do I move this up here? To go see the Selena Gomez documentary premiere. It was like a 2-day thing you did. What was it?
Yeah, so the first day was the premiere of the documentary, and then the second day was called Evening with Selena Gomez, and it was with Apple, and it was a live recording of her Zane Lowe interview.
All right, so here's a little bit of that video from Adam the Flop on TikTok.
Come with me to 2 different events with Selena Gomez. I can't even believe I get to say this because I am such a huge fan of every single project that she does. The first event was the premiere of her documentary, My Mind and Me. Here's me on the carpet, and here's her on the carpet looking absolutely stunning. After the carpet, I went into the theater with my popcorn to watch the film, which I obviously did not record. Go watch it on Apple TV. I loved this film. Selena is so brave for sharing her mental health journey, and I really think she's going to help so many people by doing that. And here's her after the film doing an interview with the director, Alec Kishishian. Day 2, the event was at the Apple Tower Theater in downtown LA. I had never been to this building before, but the inside was beautiful. The Apple team announced that we would be watching a live interview with Selena and Zane Lowe, and here's me and Madeline freaking out after hearing that. After the interview, it was time to meet Selena, and here's us realizing that we were just moments away from that. Selena was so kind. I cannot believe this happened. Here's us taking some selfies. She also gifted us her flavor of the Serendipity ice cream, and here's me eating it as soon as I got home. It was delicious. Both of these events were so special to be at, so thank you very much to all of the wonderful, kind people at Interscope and Apple for having me.
So cool.
Mhm.
So insane. That's
Wow.
awesome.
So how was that entire experience?
Oh, it was so good. I mean, I've been looking up to Selena Gomez ever since I was 7 years old and seeing her on Disney Channel. And I've just been following every single project that she has been doing ever since then. So it was such a special moment to just see her in person and to kind of see her documentary that showcases her vulnerability and all of her experiences that she's gone through over the past 6 years.
What was the talk like? What did she talk about when it comes to mental health and her journey and what, you can see in the documentary?
So Selena has been really vocal over the past couple of years about her experiences with lupus, bipolar disorder, and her kidney transplant that she had back in 2017. So all of her fans know this and know that she's gone through this, but the documentary really shows her actually going through this, which nobody has seen before. So you get to really see a whole different side of her, and it's just such a beautiful film. I think like a lot of people will have a different perspective of Selena after seeing this because they don't know the extent to what she's gone through before.
And how was it in like face to face? Like obviously she's there to meet people, but was she how you thought she'd be? Because you know how we sort of have this vision of celebrities, but then meeting them face to face is a whole different thing.
Yeah, I mean, I always knew that she was just such a genuine person because I would watch her interviews and she would just seem so nice and kind. And I know that she's really big on philanthropy and all of that. So I just knew that she would be such a great person to meet. And she was. I mean, when I saw her, she was so nice and sweet. And I was telling her about how I love her music and I have her vinyl on my wall, and she was just so happy to hear that. So I think she just felt like really grateful to see all of her fans there, and being genuinely excited to meet her. So she's so great.
Did you see her assistant Raquel there?
Raquel was at the premiere, not
Mm.
the event the day after. So I didn't get to meet Raquel, but got to meet Selena.
Gotcha. She has been a trend on the internet, just
Yeah.
because people are noticing the interactions. Raquel is her assistant, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so. I know they're really good friends and they've been really
Yes.
good friends for the past 10 years. Yeah.
You could tell though that it's been a long friendship because like I'm sure Miguel and Holly. Well, actually, no, I've actually never seen you guys be annoyed with each other, but you could tell in certain parts in the doc where like they kind of just butt heads a little bit, and I was like, everybody's thinking the same thing on the internet. It was really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting because I mean, I watched Selena's cooking show on HBO Max, Selena and Chef, and Raquel's also on there. So I mean, I'm used to just like seeing their friendship and stuff, but I think that people who are seeing the documentary for the first time just aren't used to seeing that.
Right.
So I think that the reaction has been a little bit different. But for me, it's just like two best friends, like normally, bickering occasionally,
Yes.
which is normal thing to do, I guess.
Oh wait, so are people like, why is she talking to Selena like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't really get it, I think so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what's so funny when they let us see the behind the scenes of their life, because you hold someone like Selena Gomez up on like this pedal stool, but like if this Raquel girl, they grew up together, and she's like, man, that old bitch Selena, honey, like she's
And you
special,
also
but
have to have somebody be able to call you on your BS at that level. You have
Right.
to. I mean, we've seen what
Mhm.
happens to celebrities that are only surrounded by yes men. It's not good.
It really was a personal doc. And
Yeah.
just what Adam said, it really is a different, I guess, a different perspective in Selena's life and what we
I
don't
can't
know.
wait to watch it.
It's
I
good.
can't wait.
It's good.
Mm. So what's been the biggest surprise for you being in Hollywood, so far since you've been out there working now?
I mean, just the fact that I'm able to meet some of my favorite artists now is such a huge surprise to me because I've been looking up to them for years and never would have thought that I've been able to, come face to face with Selena Gomez and just actually like talk to her. So I think that's just the biggest thing. And also just meeting people in the music industry, because when I was in college and high school, all I ever wanted to do was work in the music industry. I would always reach out to people who work at record labels on LinkedIn and just try to connect with them. And I applied to so many internships and stuff like that. So I think that now being in LA and having those people know who I am is just such a different thing, and something that I've been trying to get used to, definitely. But it's such a great experience though, being able to know people and know people who have similar interests as me, because that was like always so hard before when I was living in Chicago. But now I think, living here, it's just so nice to meet people who are passionate about music and love content. And yeah, it's been great.
Adam, with 1.2 million followers, are you making money off of your TikTok?
I am, yes. So that's something I'm super grateful for, and
Mm.
hopefully to continue in the future for
So
sure.
is that what like pays? Like, is that like your main source of income? Is like from your social media videos and everything?
Yeah, it has definitely turned into my main source of income. I still do some side work too with social media. I got my master's degree in social media, so I like to still work in that, and so I help brands a little bit with their Instagram profiles as well.
Holly, how old do you feel right now? The fact that you can get a master's degree in social media, that was not a thing when we were in college.
Sorry, I had to act like that was no big deal, but on my face, in my head, I was like, "What now?"
Like, what's
It's just, but I mean, it's great, and I don't want to sound Like, I just feel like I don't need to comment on it because I sound old as shit. But I'm like, it's just so great that that is a thing that does exist, because as over the past decade, it's been impossible to ignore. And so just having any sort of degree in being able to do and hone and, sharpen those skills in the world of social media, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be? But like, I just went to school when social media didn't exist. It's no big deal.
Good
I
times.
still use social media. I just don't. It's fine.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's really cool.
Adam, thank you so much
Thank
for. I know it's early in LA, so thank you for hopping on with us. Because as soon as I saw that on your Instagram, I was like, oh, we got to talk to you. Experience seeing the Selena Gomez doc, since obviously mental health is such a big thing that Holly is a champion of and that we talk about a lot on our show. So I wanted to get that perspective of you going there. And by the way, just so proud of you. I mean, the last time I saw you, literally, we were at a restaurant somewhere in Tampa. You were setting up the little Corona tent and stuff like that. And now you're out there going to a Selena Gomez premiere. So I'm very proud of you. We're proud of you. And keep reaching for the stars. And we'll be sitting here watching you. So don't forget about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. It's been great seeing your faces.
Absolutely. You
I
too.
love seeing you guys pop up on social media too. It's been great.
Thank you. Well, now, if you want to share one of our videos to your 1.2
or 2
Video.
or 7 of them.
He said, look at the time.
Gotta go. Awesome, Adam. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like such
She
a.
has a master's degree in social media.
Holly's like, yeah, 1.2 million. That's great. He has a master's degree.
I have so many questions about that, because what do they teach you? How to become viral, or what are like great methods to have good content? And
I think that more so. I think virality, whatever.
can you teach that?
I think it's all principles on getting eyes on you. It's market. At the very base, it's like marketing and PR all rolled into like as well as like, strategic graphic design and aesthetics. And they took all little bits of all of those things that previously existed and probably put it under the topic of social media, because keep in mind, it's always changing and shifting.
Right.
So having a master's in social media, whatever it is, it's different even probably 2 years out from when you got your master's.
Right. And
so it's always like continuing,
I found a little description here this is for USC Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism, and this is their Master of Science in Digital Social Media. It says you will learn the theory, skills, and strategic mindset that are essential for undertaking, developing, and managing social media platforms, digital media, apps, and online communication. As you engage with our expert faculty, you will build a personalized course of study that culminates with the design, incubation, and execution of a portfolio building capstone project.
I'd go to school for that.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to go back, but if I would, that would be it. That sounds pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
It's just so amazing to me how the world is changing and how quickly. I mean, so what? It's 2022. So in 2012, we were in Tampa the first time, Holly.
Yes.
We had just probably maybe 2 years before that, had just started using like pages were created to where like your business or like our morning show at the time had a Facebook page. Instagram had just only been around for a couple of years. So,
when did Instagram pop out? I'm trying to think when I first posted an Instagram. It was 2012.
2012, you were finally able to get it on Android.
Okay, so I remember I was obviously married at the time, and we had gone to New York for my now ex-husband's like grandfather's 80th birthday or something. And we're sitting around this big table at an Italian restaurant, and his niece, who at the time was like 18 or maybe 20-ish, she was like, we were taking pictures. And of course, I'm taking pictures on my cell phone camera. And she goes, wait, I have to put it on Instagram. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And she was
Ooh.
the first one that introduced me to Instagram, and I didn't get it.
Mm.
I did not understand what the hell it was. I'm like, well, you're young. Let me download this app. And I did. And I'm like, so wait, what now? I'm like, we put the photo on this thing. And she goes, yeah. Because keep in mind, before that, it had only been like Facebook photo dumps, which were like
Right.
63 photos from the night
From the
before.
album.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also you could do twit pics.
Right.
It was like a
Mhm.
special separate feature of Twitter. So
Right.
this was only for pictures. And I'm like, well, what do we do with them now? And she's like, well,
Mhm.
that's like, it's the new social network. And I'm like, what does it do? What, you just put a picture here? Who
Yes.
sees
I'd be
it?
like,
Why is
that's-
there only one?
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
you would
was,
say that's so dumb. On Facebook, you can like write things and post videos and all
I'm
that
like,
stuff.
how am I supposed to share things? Like,
Yes.
I'm not. You're just seeing one picture, and it's heavily because you had to choose one of the filters. Typically, like
Yes.
the one with the square edges around it or whatever.
Yes.
And I'm like, so is someone going to see this? And you had to wait. You had to wait years for everyone to migrate and find
Yeah.
Instagram. And I had problems with it. I'm like, oh, nobody's going to find this forever. But yeah, so that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, I just remember when Instagram first came out, and like, you know, we were so used to taking with our, you know, phones or with the digital camera, you know, a million photos from one night out at the club and then dumping them all. And so then to make me choose just one,
I
because you
know.
couldn't do a carousel back then. It was just one photo. There was no stories. And so I remember like my first photo is probably of like, I was at the doctor and it was like the stethoscope just sitting on the counter. And I was like, at the doctor.
Yeah.
And it was filtered and everything.
It's
Like,
everything is so heavily filtered.
Yes.
How do you get back to your very first post? You
Right.
probably just a
you gotta
scroll for like 5 hours.
Scroll.
Boo.
No, not doing
I
that.
had like one other separate because I forgot my password for my Radio Holly account around that time. And then I created a new account. God forbid I should just reset the password, whatever. And then I had like a very short-lived separate account. And then when I started back working in Panama City in 2014, that's when I found the password for the Radio Holly one again. I would love to know what on earth I posted those first pictures. And you know what sucks? Really quick, let me say this before I forget it. So we're talking 2012. It was still new. 2013, it's new. 2014, we were trying to utilize it, Miguel. We would be doing, you know, like headphone karaoke on. Then Instagram started videos, but they could only be 30 seconds collectively. Here's why it sucks for my kid. So every generation has like weird things as society stumbles through how social media works. And not just social media, technology.
Right.
Like, so, you know, there's growing pains. And as someone who was born, you know, in the 80s, I've seen everything come about. Well, what really sucks for my kid is she was born in 2013. And so we were just starting to upload everything there that our lives, you know, and like when you have a baby, it was like, oh, everyone needs to see my baby.
Right.
But what happened is because Instagram only worked in 30-second increments for video, is I have all these 15 to 30-second clips of my kid, and that's it. Because I'm like, I'm not going to need like a 5-minute. No one's going to watch a 5-minute video because that's what our work told us. They were like, they crammed it into our head because they're like, you have to be fast. You have to be quick. Social media goes fast. And then Snapchat was introduced in like 2014, 2015, and those were quick. So I have tons of videos of my child from like, you know, age 2 to 5, but they're in 15 fucking second bursts. And I'm like, God, why didn't I record them longer? So, because it's almost like a tease. I'm like, what happened after that shut off? But I had to make it good for social media. And that was it. She got like one funny line in, and then I was on to the next thing. And I'm like, I feel like I've done myself and her a huge disservice by just not knowing and just learning as we were going with social media and technology.
I mean, at least you have videos. I think there's like
some people don't.
Right? There's like one video of me from back in the day that
I know. Videos
that
that don't exist. There's no videos. But I do feel like
pictures.
in her wheelhouse, there's other kids whose parents were probably smarter about it. Whereas I was just like, social media technology. And she's got like one little tiny clip on Snapchat where there's like
That's
a
it.
GIF that's taking up most of the video. And I'm like, that's fine.
It is. And so it'll be so interesting to see 10 years from now what social media is going to look like, or our society won't exist and we'll be all dead.
Probably
So
that. Probably that. Just
that's
enjoy the time that you have while you have it.
This is
keep
it.
making the videos.
Yep, the world's ending. All right. Well, this is it. Thank you so much for you watching. I know we saw Nomi, Francisco, Robin. Noemi, thank you. Robin, Janelle, Stefan, the Tampa Tidbit. Tampa Tidbit, Jason, all checking in on YouTube. So you won't be able to see this, but if you hop on and listen on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to the Uncensored podcast, is the interview I did with the one Mr. Young Gravy. So I'll be attaching the interview to here. All right, Holly, what's on your social media?
Well, you can find my original Instagram account that I did recover the password for back in the day, Radio Holly. And it's also the same Radio Holly on Twitter and TikTok. And I am on Facebook under Radio Holly, or not, it's just under Holly O'Connor if you'd like to find that too.
Kelvin.
Okay. At Kelvin Live, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. OnlyFans is coming soon. It's under construction.
Ain't nothing.
Make sure to follow at Miguel and Holly too. We have a Miguel mood board that will be posted. Holly, yours is coming next week.
Oh God.
So
I hope you include a photo of me dissociating, like staring off into the mid distance.
And you can follow me at Miguel Fuller everywhere. And for those of you watching, make sure to listen to the podcast to hear our interview with Young Gravy. Bye.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.